Yo, what is going on, bros? Today I have a couple of things that I want to show you, which is very exciting, along with a formal introduction to Bentley.
What we do here is go back.
So the first thing that we should talk about is Daario. Daario has a surprise under the hood. Let's take a look at it. All right, let's see what this thing's got to offer. Oh yeah, take a look at that. I put in way too many hours one night and got this thing in there. Everything underneath is all hooked up. So the transmission, everything is all plugged in down there. Everything, I also have the starter. Everything up top still needs to be hooked up. But I'm still not sure what I'm gonna leave out of it because I wanna mock up the exhaust, everything for the turbo and stuff. But I've got this in finally. I have everything in the mail that I don't already have here. So yeah, it's coming along. It's really exciting. I genuinely think I could be anywhere between 2 and 4 weeks out from first start. Obviously I wanna aim closer than that, but I have a lot of videos that I wanna upload too, so yeah. Secondly, this car is not mine, but a new car has fallen into my hands that has become a project car for me, and it's going to see a turbo in the relatively near future. And hopefully in the next week, a couple of weeks, something like that, we're going to rebuild the block and everything. I'm not going to be super in depth because there's lots of videos on this specific car, but I will do a whole rebuild, and then eventually it'll see a turbo. So that'll be a cool new addition to the channel. This is a 1994 Honda Civic with the D15 motor, and it's got a little over 210,000 miles. It's getting close to 215, but this is the car that's come into my hands, and I plan on turboing this car and reinforcing the block, hopefully get 250, 350 horsepower out of it, something like that. That would be super cool to see, and that is the plan for this. Let's take a look at the engine. So here it is in the engine bay. If you guys saw in some of my other videos, you remember seeing a head that I ported that wasn't my M104, and that was this head here. So I ported this head. I took the head off for some reason. I cannot remember for the life of me why I had to do it. Halfly I wanted to do it. But this is the motor here. I'm going to be pulling it out eventually and rebuilding the bottom end, putting some good connecting rods into it, and then reinforcing the top of the deck where the water jacket is. You put a little reinforcement in there to help it because it's completely open style instead of like semi-open. I can't remember the exact terminology, but yeah, this is going to see a turbo here in the near future, and this whole car is going to get painted just like my car. I don't know 100% sure what color this is going to be painted though. So this is the other project car that's fallen into my hands, and this is also exciting. And finally, this is Bentley. Bentley has been my helper on the M104 project almost since it started, a couple months after it started. You guys have probably noticed him in a couple of the videos. Typically, I don't like Chihuahuas, but he doesn't really bark at anything, which is pretty crazy because he's a Chihuahua, and he looks like a Chihuahua, and he looks like he would just bark and bark and bark, but all he wants to do is just lay down and be pet. The only real time you ever hear him bark is when the doorbell rings or somebody knocks. Even if it's only on a show that you're watching on Hulu or whatever, he'll still bark. Just look what happens when the doorbell rings. Soon I'm going to be releasing all of the build videos for the M104 series so that you guys can catch up to where I'm at if anybody needs the assistance from my videos. Luckily it's just the peripherals around the engine and a couple other things. Although I did have to drill a hole in the oil pan, I had to drop it a second time, and then kind of finagling the engine in, I can give some points on that. Or at least I have all the critical stuff done and out of the way. But everything should be coming in the mail soon. Hopefully, I should see this thing start in the next 2 to 4 weeks. I'm confident that I'll be able to weld everything up and then tune the ECU and get it going. So I decided to go with a max ECU like I said in the last update. And if anybody has a bass tune that I could just get the car started with, hit me up down in the comments. I would love to see that because I don't have a bass tune yet. If worse comes to worse, I can make my own. I have no problem with doing that. But it would probably save me just a little bit to see that. And then also, if anybody knows the ignition timing that I should run on this to be a little conservative, because I didn't lower the compression, and I want to reduce the horsepower a little bit, I think, with timing. That way I don't, in case if I'm pushing a little bit more boost than I want, I can just reduce the timing just a hair instead of having a wastegate or something like that. I want this to be super simple, so there's not going to be a blow-off valve. There's not going to be a wastegate. It's just going to be right into the turbo, right out of the turbo, and then pulling air right into the engine. And I think that if I just smudge the numbers with the timing a little bit, I can get my horsepower and torque numbers where I want them to be. I don't know if you guys have anything to say about that. Let me know down below. Anyways, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys. I do these for you. These updates are just to let you guys know what's going on, but the build videos are really for you guys. There was a void in the knowledge of the internet, and I knew I had to fill it, and so that's why I'm doing this for you. Anyways, thank you again, and I will see you next time.